Hey y'all, it's TxStampin Sharon. Welcome to this video where I'm going to show you 4 ways to use the Peaceful View background stamp. It is a lovely stamp and it's so fun to do different techniques on it, and that is so my thing. I want to welcome you if you're new to my channel. I would love to have you subscribe below the video and then ring that little notification bell. You'll be notified when I upload a video like this or if I go live on YouTube. I would love to hear your comments. If you're in the live chat watching this premiere, hey y'all, I'm gonna be in there chatting with you. Let's get started. The stamp set that I'm using is called Peaceful View, and it is a beautiful stamp set, very serene looking. Since there's no words, I picked another stamp set that's in the annual catalog called The Right Words. And so I found that this is really a good stamp set. It's kind of become my go-to. So if you don't have it yet, you might want to put it on your wish list because it is a really good set. I'm going to be showing you how to do 4 different cards using these stamps. And I do hope that I inspire y'all. So let's get started. Okay, for my first one, first of all of my card bases, matte layers, my card bases, and my top layer are all the same, and you can find those in the handout. And then I also have a layer of basic white that will go on the inside. So we're just going to set this aside. Now, when you're talking about a stamp, a background stamp, they're really big, okay? And so to ink it up and to stamp it this way is kind of tough. So I like to do what I call upside down stamping. And so that's what we're going to do on this first card. First of all, I have some Memento ink, and I did ink this up before we got started just because I wanted to make sure that I had a nice juicy ink pad. And since I am going to assume that you all are brand new and you may not have what they call a, never fails, I always get ink on me, what they call is a stamping platform, we're just going to pretend that you don't have one. If you do have one, you could easily pull it out for these background stamps. But I'm going to show you how to achieve a nice inked up background without that. So as I mentioned, I made sure that my ink pad was nice and juicy. Now I have a little bit of what I call trash right there. So I'm going to grab a tissue and I'm just going to wipe that off. Hopefully I won't hit it, but I'm just not taking any chances. So I'm just going to wipe that off. Now, if you're really brave, you could take your scissors and cut this out because this area does tend to do that. It tends to grab that trash. Now, I have a lot of what they call hot air. And I'm just going to exhale on that. Make sure I got the right layer. Oh, I don't know if I do or not, but we're going to go for it. I'm just re-moistening that ink underneath. Now I'm going to take a scrap paper and I'm going to show you 2 different ways. Oh my goodness, I just have ink everywhere. 2 different ways that you can apply pressure to this. If you happen to have another big block like this, you could put that on and you could press to get a nice even coverage of your image. If you don't have another block, I like to take this part of my arm, okay, this flatter part, and I like to just press down. And the reason that I do this, I've always done this over the years, the reason is if I do with my fingers, I'm going to get uneven coverage. You could do a lot of rubbing if that helps you too. So these are just several little tips to help you with applying the ink to your cardstock. So I know that I can just flip this over and there we have it. Okay, I don't have any trashy area. I did good. All right, we're going to set that aside. And I'm going to pull in, so this is the card that I'm making. Okay, I'm going to pull in some blending brushes and some ink pads. I've got garden green, balmy blue, where'd you go? Here we go. So I'm using Daffodil Delight, balmy blue, and garden green. Okay, so I'm going to start at the top, and I'm going to start with balmy blue. And we're just going to get some ink on here. I like to start off on my scrap paper, and I'm holding my brush towards the back. You get a darker image if you put your finger on the brush head, but I just want a little bit of softness in the background. Okay, then we're going to switch to Daffodil Delight. Now I like a bright sunny look, so I'm keeping my fingers on the head so that I can get a brighter image, more color. Totally up to you how you want to do this. Okay, and then we're going to finish up with garden green. Just kind of blending those two colors together. So pretty. Okay. You could, I can hear the question already, could you put that color down first and then stamp? Absolutely. Whatever you want to do. Okay, so now we're going to add this to our basic black layer, and I did good. I was like, oh, I felt like I grabbed the wrong white piece for a moment there, but I did pretty good. Just going to assemble our card, add this to our card front. Okay, I have my stamp here that says, I miss you already. We're going to use this with our Memento ink. This is really small for me, but I think I'm gonna, aha, I did it. Yay. Oh, wait, we have something on the inside. We're gonna put, I really don't like that you're leaving. And I like to stamp, when I remember, I like to stamp on the basic white before I mount it, just in case I'm crooked or, make a smudge or, whatever. All right, so we're done with that. And now we're going to add this on the inside. Simple card, that background stamp, that peaceful view background stamp really fills up the whole card front. I just love that. And I hope by the time I'm done sharing the 4 ideas with you, that if this was not a stamp set on your radar, that it becomes one. Okay, I'm going to pop this up with some dimensionals. And we'd love to hear your feedback on this class. So if you liked this concept, please let us know. Let the person know that sent you the video or the series of videos. Now I could put it here. I could put it here. I think I'm going to try putting it down here just to see what it looks like. On this card, I put it up. So remember that trashy area that I was talking about? If you get a smudge right here, just put your greeting over that. There you go. All right, let's do the next card. Okay, here is our second card. And on this one, we're doing a technique called masking. Typically, you do masking first, but because I want my little bird in that moon area, I'm going to do it last. So let me show you. So I'm using Night of Navy ink. We're going to ink up our stamp. And I do like to ink these up upside down so that I make sure I get everything inked. Do y'all see that right there? Just want to make sure. And to minimize this trash that accumulates right here. Okay, leave that open. We're going to place this right here. We're going to get our scrap paper and we're going to press. Ta-da! Perfect. Okay. Since I have my stamp pad out, we're going to go ahead and start doing we're going to do the masking part. And I've just used my 2 3/8 inch circle punch and a Post-it note. Okay, so I just punched that out. And again, I want to catch my little bird, so I'm going to put the mask over him. Okay, and then I'm going to get some ink on a blending brush, and I'm still using Native Navy, okay, and I'm gonna kind of get some of that ink off. I don't want so much, and I'm actually holding the blending brush at the back. I just want a light color of ink, okay, so we're just going to start applying it very softly. Okay. Perfect. Just what I wanted. Okay, let's do our stamping since we have this out, our ink pad out. So this is my layer for my greeting, and we want it to say happy birthday. I just love how I have stamps right here and then I can't find them. Oh, there it is. Okay. So we have happy birthday. Okay. And then I have a sentiment that I'm going to put on the inside, and it says, to someone worth celebrating every single day. There we go. Now we can put our ink pad up before I make more of a mess. I don't know, there's just something about inky fingers, you know, shows you're having a good time, right? Okay, so I put that. This is going to be for the inside. Okay. I have a layer of Misty Moonlight that I'm going to put on the outside because I felt like that kind of looked like moonlight. I don't know. Is that funny? Little play on words. Okay. Add this layer. We're going to pop our greeting up with some dimensionals. Let me grab those. So pretty quick, easy card, right? Uh-oh, I'm going to have to trim that dimensional. I have it kind of peeking over the edge right there, so I don't know if you can see it. So I'm going to grab some snips, and we'll just trim that down. And then you can decide, where do you want to put the happy birthday? I think on the other one, this one I put it down. So let's see what it looks like putting it up. I don't know. You know, every time you make a card, make it different. All right. That is our second card. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so on this card, it's a little bit different. We're going to be doing a different technique, and we're going to apply the ink differently because, as you can see, I have two colors of ink on the one stamp. All right, first I'm going to take and I'm going to use Garden Green and a sponge dauber. These are just little sponges that fit on the end of your finger. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to apply ink to my greenery. Takes just a minute, but it's worth it. Okay, so now I have some early espresso, and I'm going to do some of my tree with this. And then I'm going to come in with a marker to get into those smaller areas. So I'm going to use the Stampin' Right markers. I'm going to use the Early Espresso to do my fence. And some of the branches. Then I'm going to take my garden green and I'm going to kind of fill in. Not going to do my bird. I'm going to make him blue. That's the little bird. So I have Night of Navy for my little bird. He's tiny. Okay. Let me grab my layers. Now, whenever you're using Stampin' Right markers, they are water-based, and so they could dry while you're finishing up the coloring, okay? I do see a few little areas up here. I think I'm going to come back in with some more ink. Okay. So in other words, I'm coloring this whole area like this. Oh, dadgummit. Every time I pick it up, I see something else. Dadgummit. That's a Texas thing. Okay. I promise I won't do it again. So some of this has already dried. So if you use your hot air, which yeah, some of y'all may not know me, but I do have some, and we're just going to exhale on the whole stamp. And that hot air will re-moisten the marker that has dried. Okay, grabbing our, I'm going to close this up before I stick my hands in it. And again, pressing. Now, if you have a stamp positioner, remember I told you, you could use that and probably be just fine. That way, if you have any areas that need to be re-inked again, you could certainly do that with your stamp positioner tools. But this is what we use when we don't have anything else. We use the tools that we were built with. There we go. Okay, I like it. All right, let's put this one together. So this one I have my early espresso layer. I'll add this layer. Okay, and then we're going to do our stamping. And I kind of like how the fence is a lighter color than the tree, okay? But I am going to show you a little tip, so hang with me just a moment. Thinking of you. A lot. Whoops, that's the wrong stamp. Whoops, 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 a lot. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna put this up. All right, we'll add this to our matte layer. We're going to pop these up with dimensionals as well. Whoops, too many dimensionals. Okay. So you can decide. So I was going to show you some ways to kind of fix our trunk a little bit. So maybe I should do that first. Let me just show you really quick before we put the greetings on. If I take a clear block and I scribble with my marker, and then I get a paintbrush or a water painter that just has a little bit of water on it, and just kind of pick this up. I am going to be basically watercoloring, adding some color to this trunk. If I just use the marker, it would just be too perfect, and I would feel like I have to draw a perfectly straight line. And this way, I'm just using soft little brush strokes to kind of fill in my tree. You see how that looks better? Okay, simple little tip. All right, so now I need that to dry. We'll go ahead and add the bottom greeting. Whoops. So we have on here a lot. That's pretty dry. Okay, I did good. So what it says is thinking of you a lot. And I'm just going to keep mine exactly where it was. Well, there we go. Now let me show you the last card. It's easy. Okay, so this is our final card, and Stampin' Up! Sells different designer series papers that have a scene in the background. And so how perfect would it be to add this stamp to one of the background designer series papers just to finish off a card? I'm calling this basically a note card. I feel like having the designer series paper in the background, I just didn't want to cover any of that up. And so our greeting will be on the inside, and I'm actually turning this into like a sympathy card, okay? All right, so once again, we're going to ink up with Memento. We want a good juicy ink pad. Making sure that's all good and inked. I do have a little bit of trash, so we're going to get rid of that. I think I keep throwing away my tissue. I don't know what keeps happening to it, but we just want to get that off. Any of those little black spots. Okay, so we're going to place this down, get our scrap paper, and stamp. Upside down stamping. How perfect! How perfect is that? I just love it. And so when we assemble this card, it's pretty simple. We have a basic black layer. Like if you need to make a lot of cards and have them ready, this idea would be really good. Like you could just have them all ready and then you could add your greeting as you need it. Okay, so we're going to get our ink again. I think sympathy cards are one of the hardest ones to make. So hardest ones to make when you need it. So if you have them ready, then it's not so emotional. I don't know, it's just really hard. Okay, all right, then we'll add this. And that is our last card.
I sure hope that those 4 cards got those inspirational juices flowing, and I can't wait to see what you do with that stamp set. I will see you on the next video. Happy stamping, y'all!